Gaza's death toll surpasses 25,000, health ministry says, as ongoing Hamas war divides Israelis. The Palestinian death toll from the war between Israel and Hamas has soared past 25,000, said the Hamas-run health ministry in the Gaza Strip on Sunday, while the Israeli government appeared far from achieving its goals of crushing the militant group and freeing more than 100 hostages. The level of death, destruction, and displacement from the war is without precedent in the decades-old Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Israeli officials say the fighting is likely to continue for several more months. The conflict and the plight of hostages held in Gaza have divided Israelis and their leaders, while the offensive threatens to ignite a wider war involving Iran-backed groups in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen that support the Palestinians. On Sunday, the Israeli Air Force carried out 2 series of strikes on terrorist infrastructure, including a military building, a launch post, and an observation post belonging to the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah, the Israeli military said. Israel said it also struck several locations in southern Lebanon, including a Hezbollah command center and military compound. Earlier on Saturday, at least 5 Iranians were killed in an Israeli strike on Damascus, Syria's capital city, which targeted a building used by the Iranian paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, according to Syrian and Iranian officials. And on Thursday, Yemen-based Houthi rebels launched missiles at a merchant vessel owned by the United States, the Pentagon said, marking the latest attack from the militant group, which is similarly backed by Iran, on commercial ships in and around the Red Sea. It was the rebel group's 3rd strike last week targeting U.S.-owned vessels. Violence has also spiked in the occupied West Bank. On Friday, a Palestinian-American teenager was shot and killed by Israeli troops in the West Bank, a Palestinian official told Reuters. In Lebanon, Hezbollah forces have engaged in near-daily clashes with Israeli troops along the border. An Israeli airstrike on Sunday hit a car near a Lebanese army checkpoint in the southern town of Kafra, killing at least 1 person and injuring several others, Lebanese state media reported. The identities of those killed and injured were not immediately clear. Israel's military said it doesn't comment on reports in foreign media. The United States, which has provided essential diplomatic and military support for Israel's offensive, has had limited success in persuading Israel to minimize the risk to civilians and to facilitate the delivery of more humanitarian aid. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected U.S. and international calls for post-war plans that would include a path to Palestinian statehood. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called the refusal to accept a 2-state solution totally unacceptable. The Middle East is a tinderbox. We must do all we can to prevent conflict igniting across the region, Guterres added Sunday, and that starts with an immediate humanitarian ceasefire to relieve the suffering in Gaza. The war began with Hamas's surprise attack in southern Israel on October 7. Terrorists killed some 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and took around 250 hostages back to Gaza.